The stage is set. You got the dogs, you got the frogs. We are somewhere within the range of 24 hours until toe meets leather. Is going to be an absolute blast. Myself, Nick Brake, going to be in the building for it. Got to get you some final predictions, some final thoughts as it pertains to this matchup. Because we were very fortunate to be able to be at the media day yesterday for the national title game. You had TCU going first, then Georgia going second here from both teams. And I just think it's so fascinating to compare psyches of both programs going into this game. Because TCU, you would think they're that team that should just be starstruck. They're in LA. They had 4 guys with bowl game experience, not college football playoff, not national title, bowl game experience prior to the semifinal game. They just showed up, showed out, and said, you know what, let's go to LA. Going to play for a national title. Cool. Then you got Georgia, who's trying to run it back, trying to do what no team has ever done before in the college football playoff era, to win a second in a row. So you would think the experience factor for Georgia could be the difference maker. And I don't think you're wrong in saying that, because yesterday during Georgia's media day, there was very much so a buzz in the air from people like myself and people like Nick, who, we're in the media and we're kind of trying to get as much information as possible from these different individuals, from this organization, because they're the heavyweight champ, right? They're back in the building. But from a Georgia perspective, from how they carried themselves, you would have thought it was just another event. You would have thought it was just another media day. It's not to say they weren't excited to be there. There wasn't good energy from them or good juice from them, but it was very much so a transactional, business-like thing. Heck, we did an interview with Darnell Washington, and we handed him the lav mic, and he knew exactly what to do. Just kind of, yes, yep, got it, put it on, threw it underneath the hoodie like a pro. Like, it was very much so, this is what we do, this is what we're used to. We're not going to be shocked by this stage. Now, on the TCU side of things, I think there is an element of not having the moment be too big for you because you're just not focused on the moment. Like, we had a kicker that I played with in college, and he was awesome. Such a good kicker, was great under pressure. But I think the reason why he was so great under pressure is because he was never worried about the kick. Like, he was never worried about the moment or what it would mean to our team. I think that could be the same kind of psyche TCU's playing with. It's a 2-game season. We understand that there's a lot of other outlets, a lot of other external factors that will profit off of the notion that Georgia's this unbeatable team, that we have no shot, that they're just going to go ahead and make history while they play us. Like, other people are benefiting from that, but guess what? They still got to show up for 4 quarters and see us. I think that's TCU's mentality. So how those mentalities compare going into this game, I think it's fascinating. I'm very, very excited to see it all play out. If you haven't yet subscribed, look no further. We got you covered. We'd love to have you at the party. Very, very big thank you to all of you that have already subscribed and watched our content throughout this season. Y'all are the reason we were able to go to LA, to be at this national title game, this heavyweight fight. So thank you very much for that. Also, follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at JDPikel. In addition to these predictions, got some prop bets for you pertaining to this game on Monday night that I think you will want to at least know about. So you can fade or follow. Your choice is yours. But go ahead and give me a follow there on both of those social channels. So, moving forward, as far as predictions go, I think when we talk about TCU after this game, it will be wow, they put up a really, really impressive showing. Whether they win or lose, I think it's the kind of game where TCU legitimizes everything about them heading into this game. Because a lot of people are saying, well, they lost to Kansas State and Michigan had a bad day, they didn't execute well, and both of those things could be true, but doesn't mean TCU is any less of an equipped football team. And so I think we leave this game, and I think TCU very much so, like I said, legitimizes who they are internally and also from a talent perspective. We heard Kirby Smart talk today in the press conference with both coaches, and he was talking about TCU having elite talent at really important positions that matter. Max Duggan at quarterback, Hodges Tomlinson at corner, Jim Thorpe Award winner. You got Quentin Johnston on the outside playing receiver. You know how highly we think about him on this program. They've got some really good players, but more than that, they have a really good team. And we're going to see that on the field on Monday night. The other thing, I think Georgia's team speed is a difference maker. Everyone's talking about the physicality in the SEC and the trenches. That's all fair. I'm not disagreeing with any of that, but I think the team speed element will be what makes them, or at least allows them the opportunity to win this football game. Smile Monday and Jamon Dumas-Johnson will have enormous opportunities and enormous tasks with having to keep up with Max Duggan when he does ad-lib and be able to make tackles in space whenever they check it down to Tay Barber or Darius Davis. But that team speed element will be something that TCU has never seen before. So the choices for Georgia, is that your asset, or is that sort of the thing that gives you issues? Because TCU does so much with misdirection to where if Georgia utilizes that team speed, but they get out of position, chasing the motion, and that inside zone's coming back across, well, then you got problems. So the team speed will be very, very impactful, very, very important. But again, I think it will be the difference maker, for better or for worse, for Georgia. So with that being said, we already gave you our pick in this game. If you haven't yet checked that out, it's on the On3 YouTube channel, so make sure you watch it. Final prediction, I think the first 8 minutes of this game will tell us the story. I'm not saying if Georgia's up at the end of those 8 minutes or if TCU's up at the end of those 8 minutes, they win the game. I'm just saying from a gameplay perspective. All the talking, all the narratives, all the TCU's got too much talent at receiver and Georgia can't keep up, or Georgia's too good in the trenches, TCU won't be able to do anything. I think we're going to finally get all that talking settled. Because in those first 8 minutes, both these programs are going to come out just absolutely swinging. You're going to see haymakers from both sides of the football from both programs. So that first 8 minutes is very crucial. Again, I think it will tell the story. At the very least, it'll dispel all the narratives we had going into this game. You're going to have a good gauge for both programs at the end of halfway through the first quarter. But again, Nick Brake and I are going to be there, going to be covering it at a grass level, going to be an absolute blast. Thank you for making this possible. Thank you for joining the party, all y'all that have this year. If you haven't yet subscribed, we'd love to have you. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at JD Pickell. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. What a wonderful season. Last one, best one. We'll attack it together. And keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.